Top of the morning. Top of the morning.
It is now 8 o'clock on the Edge 105.1, 105.3 FM. The following hour is brought to you courtesy of Rainforest Seafoods. Enter the Rainforest Backyard Barbecue promotion on now until September 30. And we're now inside the legal landscape. Should I say season 2? Yeah. Season 2 of the legal landscape. The topic today is defamation in the age of social media. How to protect your reputation. Social media facilitates sharing ideas and information using technology, right? It is one of the fastest methods of communication that we have and has approximately 3.78 billion users worldwide. Now, since it has become so convenient to share information, it has also become very easy to spread rumors or gossip. We've all seen it. Fake news or other negative, sensational and false statements on social media about politicians, athletes, artists, or other public figures. You know, there are many users who think that they can speak freely on social media platforms like Instagram Live, TikTok, or Twitter. But what does the law say about it? What information could be considered defamatory when shared on social media? What information could be considered defamatory? And what are the rights of someone who has been defamed? So to assist us in addressing these questions on the legal landscape, we are joined by attorney at law and associate at Duncox, Mr. Ricardo Lawson. Top of the morning to you.
Hi, good morning, Dion. How are you?
I am fair to find fabulous and trying to be fit, Mr. Lawson.
That's good to know.
Yes. So we're looking at defamation. Can you explain for us, first of all, break it down to everyone so we're all working along the same premise? What is defamation?
Defamation is a very technical area of law. But the best way to sort of break it down is that defamation is a factually incorrect statement made by one person to another person, which tends to bring a third party's reputation into disrepute and may also cause him some sort of personal embarrassment in the minds of ordinary right-thinking Jamaicans. That's pretty much the basics.
Pretty much the basics of what is defamation. You're inside the legal landscape, and by the way, I should remind our listeners that you can call us with your questions. You know the numbers. Studio line is 876-906-9559, or you may send us a WhatsApp question as well, 876-383-1166. Voice note it if you can. All right. So we're looking at defamation. Mr. Ricardo Lawson is our legal mind, attorney at law and associate at Duncox. Mr. Ricardo Lawson, when does defamation occur?
All right. So there are basic facts that must exist. So, for example, the incorrect statement has to be attributable to a specific person. The statement has to be published. So this may take any form. So the simplest form is a conversation between two persons where a third party is mentioned, an article in a newspaper, a comment on the radio. Say, for example, we're talking now, we mention someone else, that kind of thing. A post on a social media platform, a comment and posted in the comment section of a social media post. And it goes on and on. Also, go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry. I was just going to ask you, though, if there is a difference if the statement was published on social media versus mainstream media.
No, there's really no difference at all because the law has developed significantly since 2013 to include statements that are made by electronic means or on the internet, regardless of the form of the statement. So if it's made on Twitter, on Instagram Live, on TikTok, it doesn't matter where it's made.
Okay, so I had interrupted your thought. Is there something else you were going to say, or does that cover it?
Right. So I was going to say that in addition to the statement being published or the statement being attributed to a specific person, the incorrect statement must be capable of defaming someone. In other words, of lowering someone in the minds of other people or negatively impacting that person's reputation. And for practical purposes, there must be some evidence of harm to reputation as well.
You're speaking mostly about reputation. What are the rights of someone who has been defamed?
Well, that's a good question. So where a person feels he has been defamed, he may commence legal proceedings to obtain court orders to clear his name and to recover compensation.
And just a thought I was thinking, we're speaking about defaming and we're speaking solely to reputation.
Right.
By extension, would that include then if the person proves loss of income in addition to or exclusively against reputation?
No, so if it is that the person can establish that the defamation has the effect of impacting his livelihood, then he can also commence proceedings to recover compensation to cover that loss. And actually, that's something I was going to talk about as well in greater detail as one of the steps that to enforce the rights that we just discussed.
Okay. All right. So the rights of someone who has been defamed is what we're looking at today.
Right.
What are the general steps? And I should just remind our listeners as well that you can call us with your questions, 876-906-9559, or you may send us a WhatsApp as well, 876-383-1166. We're looking at defamation with attorney at law and associate at Duncox, Mr. Ricardo Lawson, who I will ask to share with us now. What are the general steps available to someone who has been defamed to enforce their rights?
Right. So the first step that's available is an immediate order restraining the continued publication of the offending statement. So an example of this order would be, for example, an order from the court demanding that the social media post be removed or the comments deleted from the social media page. Mm-hmm. Also, an order directing the person who has published the statement to publish a retraction or to make an apology in the same prominent form as the offending statement. Mm-hmm. Or the court may decide to order whatever corrective steps it thinks is appropriate to remedy the harm to the person who has been defamed. And also a lawsuit, as we had discussed, asking the court to award financial compensation for the injury that has been sustained, whether it be to reputation or connected to the person's livelihood. And in determining the compensation, the court will take into consideration, the nature of the harm. There has to be a rational relationship between the harm and the amount of compensation awarded. So effectively, the more serious the injury to reputation or income, the higher the compensation will likely be.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Right. So, and if a person feels he has been defamed, he has 2 years to file a claim in the court. And if he's successful, he may also recover compensation for the legal fees that he has spent to hire an attorney. Because most persons will think, okay, I have been defamed, this has caused me some loss, but I can't afford an attorney, or I may spend a lot of money and I may never recover it back. But the law says that if a person succeeds in a defamation claim, he can, in addition to obtaining compensation for injury to his reputation or loss to his income, he may also recover a reasonable sum for his legal fees.
Okay, so what we're saying is we don't have to take matters into our own hands. If it's a clear case,
right, exactly.
Go to the court.
Right.
What are the defenses to a lawsuit in which someone says he or she was defamed?
Right. So one of the basic defenses is truth. If someone is accused of defaming someone and the person can say, listen, the statement is true. I did publish a statement on social media. I did make the comment on Instagram Live. I did tweet the statement, but it's true. Or it's not materially different from the truth. Or when one looks at all the circumstances, it is in substance not materially different from the truth. So what this will involve is someone filing a defense. So let's say someone is sued, that person will file a defense and will present evidence to show that what he said or posted on Instagram or whatever social media platform was essentially the truth. Or it wasn't very different from the truth. And if he can prove that, then he will have a defense to defamation claim, and no compensation award will be made against him.
I notice you keep using the masculine.
I'm sorry, dear. I don't mean, yes, he or she. It doesn't matter.
Thank you. Just saying that this is not open to me. Oh, boy.
That's funny.
Just to open it up, because you never can tell, you know? You never can tell.
All right. So another defense that's available is what we call fair comment. So if and how it works is, if she makes a genuine comment, the comment that or the document or the statement that's published, the genuine opinion in a matter of public interest, then and it's fair and accurately reported, then that will also amount to a defense, to a claim in defamation. Another defense is also innocent dissemination. So if it is that she was merely a distributor or subordinate to a distributor, an employer of a distributor, she'll have a defense. Or she neither knew or reasonably could not have known that the matter was defamatory, she'll also have a defense.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if in not knowing she was not negligent. So for example, and this is it's very important to the concept of social media, because if a blogger or an Instagram account makes a post and there are 2,000 comments in the comment section, and the comment potential is defamatory, the argument could be made that the account holder is an innocently disseminated the information in that way, in the sense that he or she could not regulate the comment section swiftly enough to remove the comment. So the argument could be made that could amount to a defense. And it's important because, the most popular Instagram accounts usually are flooded with comments. And it can be argued that, that's an innocent dissemination of the information. Another defense is also absolute privilege. So even if the statement is defamatory, or it's false, or it's just maliciously made, if it's made in a court of law or in parliamentary proceedings, then the maker of the statement will have an absolute defense, right? And that's a public policy kind of defense. Mm-hmm. Another defense that's connected to that as well is what we call qualified privilege. So if it is that he or she is reporting on a matter of public interest concerning, court proceedings in Parliament, and it's fair and accurate, then that person will have a defense to defamation as well. This is also relevant for social media accounts as well, not only traditional newspaper kind of thing or radio. If a person decides that they're going to comment on something that occurred in Parliament or in court, on social and Instagram Live, once it's a fair and accurate reporting or an opinion of it, then the defense may also be available.
So I guess at the end of the day, we just have to look at, once we're putting something out there in the public domain, right, we have to be careful. We are responsible for what we place there. Before you leave us, is there any hashtag did you know tip for us on this?
Well, it's not really a hashtag, but what I would say is that, and we kind of touched on it before, that when someone makes a false statement about you which causes you to lose your job or lose income or affects your livelihood, there's a remedy for that, and the court can make an award for financial compensation to actually deal with that loss to your income and to your business. So not just about reputation. I think that's important for people to know.
It is indeed. And I thank you so very much. Very eye-opening for us to realize that we are all responsible, and we are in the season of social media, so to speak. So it's very important for us to look at how to protect our reputation and how we look at protecting others' reputation as well, too.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, thank you so much for having me.
I've enjoyed the laughter. It's good to see that even though we're speaking on points of law, that, we can have our fun while looking at it. But the most important thing is to be responsible. Thank you so very much. Attorney at Law and Associate at Duncox is Mr. Ricardo Lawson, our guest this morning on The Legal Landscape. Defamation in the age of social media, how to protect your reputation. We certainly hope you found it useful. Thank you so much again, Mr. Lawson.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye-bye.
A pleasure indeed. All right, so see, anybody, a he or a she, be careful what you are posting. You don't want to be faced with a lawsuit for defamation. Not true. It's not going to happen to DJ Neil, you know, because the brother don't like to talk. It is 15 and a half minutes past 8 o'clock in the morning. Top of the morning to you here on The Edge.